And the truth is, it doesn't really interest me, to be totally honest. I don't want it. And I don't put a book on there just because it's a key, just because some app tells me it's a key or, people have been talking about it.
Right.
If it's not something I want to add to my collection, I don't get it. It's just kind of is what it is. Now, Wednesday rolls around. Mm-hmm. Hey everyone, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. Today is episode 107 of the brand new Coffee and Comic Show. As you can see, I'm not alone. I got my good friend Bob here with me. Bob, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine, my friend. How about yourself?
Trying to keep it together. We're like 30 seconds in.
I know.
And we've already lost it. This is going to be that type of show, I can already tell. Anyway, welcome. Back's feeling good?
Back's feeling good. Ready to get into this particular topic. I've been excited about it all week, and so it's going to be good.
What's the topic?
The topic is everybody's grab bag questions, man.
Grab bag, good enough. I guess. It's viewer's choice.
It's viewer's choice.
It's kind of a Q&A part 2. We did a Q&A a few weeks ago, and people really enjoyed it. But this one's not as many questions as before. Last time there was 100. There's only 50 on this one. Woo. So it's about half. So maybe the video won't be in 2 hours long. So that should be kind of fun. But we always start with what we're drinking. We're drinking coffee, obviously, from Mocha Express, the official coffee shop of Comics with Bueller. And what we just said it last week, we're going to say it again. Everything Comics, because he doesn't go to that other place anymore. Apparently you got kicked out. But that's a whole other story for this, for another time. But I'm drinking the Buzz, and this is just shots of coffee, and that's pretty much all it is. So, I mean, I've been drinking coffee all morning. I got some coffee sent to me from Rod the Rockin. There's actually one of the little packages right there.
Nice.
And I'm, like, buzzed. And so I'm like, I got this now. No, it's the Buzz. So I'm having a sip.
Far be it from you to be jacked up on coffee.
There you go. What are you drinking, man?
I got my mainstay. I got a cold brew with some sugar-free vanilla sweetener. And it's tasty because I haven't had one of these in like 2 weeks.
There you go.
There it is.
All right, take a little sip. All right. Well, that's awesome.
It is awesome.
How do you guys like that thumbnail we did today? You like that? Pretty cool, right?
That was so weird, man.
Hopefully we use that thumbnail.
There we go. I know. Huh?
Yeah, it's kind of fun, right?
It was.
All right, let's get to it. First things first. We have these little art cards that are kind of around the set. We're kind of showing these off, and these are by my buddy Doyle Comic Art, or at Doyle Comic Art on Instagram or Facebook. And if you want to get any of these, just go to his Instagram or Facebook. You can check him out. He's actually sending us a bunch more, so we'll have on display in the background. It fits here just perfectly.
Yeah.
So that's why it's there. But every week we'll put a new one on display, and it should be kind of cool. So
very cool.
But like I said, you can go to at Doyle Comic Art on Instagram and Facebook. The link is down below. Check it out. He does some really cool stuff. So not bad at all.
Yeah.
All right, let's just roll right into the first 5.
Let's do it.
The first 5 is brought to you by Comic Pro Line.
Yes.
So if you need some comic book supplies, the link is down below. You're up first.
All right. So my first 5 I'm kind of proud of. You know how much I love Kanto. And I got some news recently from the creators of Kanto, and I'm going to actually be interviewing them on my channel, and so very excited about that. So I thought I'd bring some Kanto books. This is the second print of number 1.
Are you going to show them all your books?
Yeah, every single one.
I bet you are. They're going to feel a little creepy at the end of it, aren't they? The whole point of the interview is to creep out the creators.
Exactly.
Creep out the creators with Bob.
Exactly.
There you go.
Remember that time when you did that little guy inside the comic book?
Yeah,
that was cool. Here's Kanto 1, the Kanto 2 number 1, the variant cover for the Hollow Man. And then these are all incentive covers. This is issue number 3, issue number 2, and then last but not least, issue number 4, which just came out last week.
Nice.
And there's my first 5.
Nice. All right, I got my first 5. Some great books here, all independent books, it looks like.
Nice.
I got Ice Cream Man number 6. I think you might have showed this one last week or something. I don't know.
Nice.
But I got that out of the grab bag.
Perfect.
Perfect, exactly. Then I got that crossover one, number 3, the McFarlane cover, with the girl apparently reading the McFarlane book, the Spawn book.
You got the Spawn book?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I got this one, which is Cold Dead Hand number 1. This is the exclusive by Hive Comics.
Nice.
This was sent to me from the Rogue Trader.
Oh, sweet.
And I got a couple other books that he sent, so I'm going to show those off.
Good man,
This is Origins number 1. This is also the Hive Comics exclusive.
Sweet.
And this is Scumbag number 1, the Hive Comics exclusive. You go to their website, hive-comics.com. You can get these books there.
That's awesome.
And then a bunch of other stuff as well. But yeah, he sent me some exclusives, and it's pretty cool. And
very cool.
He didn't send you nothing?
Nothing?
Maybe.
Maybe?
You'll have to wait.
Eric, a good friend of the show.
There you go. That's right. The Rogue Trader. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right to the topic already. Yeah. We're not wasting any time. The topic is brought to you by blackboxcomics.net. You can go to their website, enter the code Bueller10. You save 10% on any of their books. Okay, so we're going to go through this kind of quick, kind of like we did before. Kind of a rapid fire questions, because there's a ton of questions. What we did is we filmed this on Saturday morning, so all these questions are up till pretty much Saturday or Friday night. So if you left the question after that, it's not going to be on the video. Yeah. So there you go. And something kind of cool is I have treats for Bob.
Treats?
Yes. There's a nice little stack of books right here.
Oh, sweet.
And they're treats for you, depending on how you answer the questions.
Oh, is that right? Oh. I thought I wasn't going to be put on the spot again, man.
So if you answer good, you get a treat.
All right, thank you.
If you answer bad, you get no treat.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Either way, I'm pretty sure you're going to get the treats. So it's all good. Okay. All right, Bob. So you're going to be up first. You got the first page, and then I'll get the second.
Sounds good. All right. I'm going to read the first two questions because they're kind of about the same thing. The first one comes from Ghost Rider. He says, please chat about the one thing many new and old comic book collectors are suffering from and ways to help fight this terrible condition, the fear of missing out. FOMO. And the other one is from Phillyborn. He says, your thoughts on the new Star Wars craze right now in the industry. So, I mean, it is two questions.
Yeah.
But we're lumping them together for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why is because there was a Star Wars book that came out this past week. What's it called again?
Star Wars: The New Republic. I think it's what it is. The High Republic.
Whatever it is. Okay. So a lot of people were really giddy about this book. Okay. And this, obviously, it's a Star Wars book. And I think there is a lot of case to where there is a fear of missing out. And so this kind of goes to this same topic. So I just want to talk about this real fast. I do my top 10 list. Okay. That comes out on Tuesdays. And on my top 10 list, it's my personal top 10. And the last week I didn't have that Star Wars book on there, and there was countless people, you forgot about it. Why didn't you put it in? They were actually kind of mad that I didn't put that Star Wars book in. And the truth is, it doesn't really interest me, to be totally honest. I don't want it. And I don't put a book on there just because it's a key, just because some app tells me it's a key, or people have been talking about it.
Right.
If it's not something I want to add to my collection, I don't get it. It's just kind of is what it is. Now, Wednesday rolls around. Or Thursday, books were late, whatever day it was. So I go into the comic shop, I'm one of the first people there. And sure enough, they got that book sitting on the shelf. And they got tons of them. I mean, they got 30 copies of this book, and they got multiple variants and stuff like that. And the little guy that's always there, he's just a little dude. He just runs right, he runs right to the wall. So, he's got to get there first to get his books. He grabs like 4 copies. Okay. Another guy grabs in there 4 copies of that book. I sit there and I grabbed one of each, okay? And I'm like, maybe I should get this. And I held them in my hands. I literally had both the regular cover and the other cover. And the reason why they were in my hands is because of the fear of missing out. And that's all it was. And I sat there and I looked at them. And I was like, hey, they're cover price. I get a discount. I get them for $3 or whatever. And then I went and I walked off, and I still looked at my pile and I was like, do I really need these? I asked myself that question. And I said, would I buy these if there wasn't buzz around them right now? The fear of missing out? I'm like, no. So I went and I put them back. And I didn't get them. And I think it comes down to self-control. Whether you can do... I mean, I can't say that for every book. On some books I probably have bought because I was, I'm going to miss out, type thing. But on those, that's kind of my rule of thumb is I ask myself, do I really want them in my collection? Would I even open the book, if I bought this anyway? And the answer is no. As soon as I put them back on the thing, the guys grabbed them.
Right.
I mean, literally, I couldn't even put them on the shelf fast enough before they were like grabbing them out of my hands. And I was okay with it. I just moved on. It's like I just went to the book I wanted, and I was like, oh, in my pile, there's other books I want. Whether it's worth more than cover price or not, it didn't matter. I just wanted, what I wanted. I didn't want other stuff. People tend to just buy, and people tend to fool themselves too, and they will justify, oh, no, I'm buying it because of this. Mm-hmm. Honestly, and I will just tell you guys, a lot of that is fake. A lot of that is just people trying to justify them purchasing something, even though down deep they know that I'm really only buying it because somebody told me to.
That's exactly right.
Or I'm buying it because an app told me to, or because I saw it on a list or whatnot. Would I buy it if it wasn't on the app or if it wasn't on the top 10 list somewhere else? Probably not.
Probably not.
I'd probably just pass on it and stuff like that. They try to justify it, and I get it. Like I said, I'm in the same boat sometimes. But as time has gone on, I've gotten a little bit better. I've been able to say, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I just don't need it. And I was okay with it. I walked out perfectly happy. And I didn't think twice about it. So that's kind of my response to the fear of missing out. Now, as far as the Star Wars craze, we were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. The reason why there's such a craze, because literally it was the only thing on TV for the last 2 months. Mm-hmm. And, that was our only option. There's like really nothing else going on. There's no new movies coming out. There's no other stuff. I told Bob, I said, man, where was all the craze when the new movies came out? Mm-hmm. There was nothing. There's hardly anything. Nobody even talked about it, and literally new movies were coming out.
Sure.
Okay, that had a big universe of brand new characters and all this stuff and a brand new product line and all this. And there was no got to get the Star Wars books, at the time. It wasn't really a big thing. And now, because it's the only thing available, and I think it's going to die down quite a bit right now, because the Star Wars Mandalorian thing, which is pretty much what kickstarted everything, is over with for the time being. And I don't think anything else is coming out for like another year.
No. There's a bunch of stuff coming out.
Is it soon?
Yeah, soon. You have the Bad Batch coming out this year. That's going to be out. And I think there's one other one before we get Mandalorian again this next year.
Well, I mean, whatever it is, it kind of seems like that's when other things are in the playing field, it won't get as much attention.
Yeah.
Right now, it's the only thing on the playing field, and all eyes are on that. That's where all the eyes are. And when you watch a top 10 list or you see an app and literally 7 out of the top 10 books are Star Wars, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Because there's no other choice at the moment. And it's getting all the buzz and stuff. And I think if you just take a step back, because Star Wars comics aren't the main collector's area for Star Wars products.
No, usually, traditionally it's not, no.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the main collector area is like toys and stuff like that. It's not, the comics are secondary as far as the popularity of what to collect for Star Wars.
Absolutely. So. And I'm not going to put my opinion on this one because we need to get going on these.
Okay, whatever.
So the next one comes from Leftover Zaggy. He says, is there any beef among comic YouTubers?
Okay, let's hear you on this one.
I've heard inklings of different beefs, but I've never been privy to those conversations. So, I mean, for me to talk on them would be like, me just guessing, and then it'd be gossip.
Yeah.
So...
there is. I mean, there always has been. As far as I know, I've been here about 3 years, and people had a problem with me from the very beginning. Some people have been on doing comic book videos before me and have since come after me or whatnot. It just is what it is. But I've always looked at it to where just make good content.
Yeah.
Just focus on what you're doing and make good content. And if people enjoy watching, your audience finds you, and it doesn't have anything to do with anyone else.
Right.
So that's pretty much what you have to do, what you have to focus on. A lot of people ask me, "Oh, these people aren't getting along." I'm like, because of a certain reason. I'm like, well, just make good content. The people watching really don't care.
Yeah, there you go.
To be honest, about what's going on between you and some other dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Just make something that people enjoy watching.
Yeah.
And focus on that.
Absolutely. So. And you're not going to please everybody. That's the point.
Exactly.
All right. Next one comes from Lord Roscoe. He says, Marvel and DC titles versus independent titles. Do you guys think the independent books are becoming more popular in this day and age, especially with so many different streaming platforms? I ask because I feel like I have more indie books on my pull list each week.
Yeah.
We talk about that quite frequently.
Yeah, we're bigger fans of independent titles quite a bit. and just the variety.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing. I think the variety of the books that are out there, and the amount of books that you get every week, that are not, quote, like the superhero type books.
Right.
It's just awesome. So I think the popularity is just booming.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, I think it's because of the quality. I mean, I want my superhero books to all be good, but let's just face it, not all of them are good. And we have a lot more creators putting out independent stuff passionately, and it's just better stuff right now.
Yep, exactly.
All right, next one comes from Mike Irish. He says, topic, single issues versus trades versus digital. Which do you prefer? Single issues.
All right, you get a prize for that one. There you go. You get a prize. Look
There
at
we go. Oh, right. I got the scumbag.
There you go.
That was just from Eric.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric.
Single issues for me as well. That's what I've always preferred. That's probably what I will always prefer.
Yeah. So. But I mean, also in the place that I am now, I do have all three, but just because of what we do. But single issues are always my go-to.
There you go.
Next one comes from a good friend, Travis M. He says, why is Spider-Man so iconic? What is it about the character that resonates with people? So I think a couple of things. Number one, Stan Lee and Ditko and Kirby, they basically brought the character down to our level. He's got everyday world problems, and he's not God level, so you can't relate to him. And he's very relatable. And the second thing is what came out inside of the Into the Spider-Verse, something Stan Lee's been saying for years. Anyone can wear the mask.
Yeah.
And I think that allows people to be able to get behind the character.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's just a relatable character. He was a young teenager when we were introduced to him. And I think another thing that's kind of cool about Spider-Man that people really enjoy is his cast of villains.
Yes.
Is just awesome. And it's just kind of, obviously there's a lot of references to animals or insects and stuff like that. It works, exactly. Mm-hmm. And Batman is good because of his cast of villains.
Right.
Spider-Man's in the same boat. Those two have the best villains in the comic books.
Absolutely.
And it makes you enjoy the character. And you root for the character more because of the villains, because you see them as a formidable foe, and you want the good guy to win, for the most part. Stuff like that. So I think that's kind of the main thing. If you have a weak villain cast, like I think Superman has one of the weakest villain casts there is, because I never thought Lex Luthor, he's just a regular guy. Mm-hmm. It's just like Superman just got upset one day.
Right.
We're done.
Right.
But let's just be honest. So I think with the combination of his sporting cast and just being relatable to the character, nice bright red and blue suit, that goes a long way as well. So
good stuff. All right, next one comes from Sam McKibben. He says, annoyed how many different covers of one comic book can there be? One cover, because that's all you need.
I've heard that before.
Heard that one before, too.
That's a line, okay? When I say that, like in my top 10, I go, one cover, because that's all you need. That's just a catchphrase.
Yeah.
I don't want people to take that literally. You only do need one cover,
sure.
Okay? It could be a blank cover. That's all you need. You only need one cover.
Right.
Okay? And it's just a line I say. I do think that covers are overdone. A lot of times I think like Eternals, number one, was the perfect example of something well overdone. They don't need that many covers for that book. You don't need 40 or 50 covers for that one book. I say it all the time with the Dynamite books. They don't need to do all those covers for those regular issues and stuff like that. But I don't have a problem with variants in general if they're done right. I think 5 or 6 covers or something like that, for a certain special event. I think that's okay. Like in that video, I said, hey, look at how neat the Venom ones are, or how good those are. And those are awesome, you know. Compared to the Eternals ones, which was like 50 covers, like, man, they're subpar. And there's really no reason for that many. Yeah. The Venom ones, you could kind of justify it a little bit more because there's a big audience for it, and there's some beautiful artwork that goes along with it. So my bottom line is when it comes to covers and how many there are, once you get past a certain number, it really turns me off.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it, to be totally honest. Yeah. So there you go.
I think Marvel's kind of found a way to absolve themselves of responsibility for how many covers they got out there. They don't even put a cover on anymore. They just put regular pages in there. So pretty much when you're reading a comic book, every page is a variant cover.
There you go.
Right? Here we go. All right. Next one comes from David Posner. He says, what do you guys think about the Walmart exclusive books?
I've never bought one.
I haven't either.
The Walmart's not... there's Walmarts around here, but the only one around here is like the grocery Walmart.
Right.
and I don't necessarily go to the other side of town where the other Walmart is at, just because it's just packed and stuff like that. There's so many different options between here and there, so I never go there. So I've never bought one, but I guess they have exclusive variants or something like that, in the packs. So, but I guess they're okay. I haven't bought them, so I really couldn't always say much about them.
Yeah, it's the same with me. I mean, they just never really interested me. I thought it was kind of a cool, like a nostalgia effect, because I used to love those 100-page, kind of mashups from DC. But it never interested me, and even with everybody specking on them, never grabbed me.
I'm glad they're there. It's nice to see books that are in the the biggest chain in the world, I guess. So I'm glad they're there.
For sure.
But I seriously never saw any of them. So.
Right. All right, last one on this page comes from Torrin Johnson. He said, should comic prices ever return to the lower prices of $2.99 or even $1.50? That might be a great way to bring new blood into the fandom, which we definitely need. That's another one we've talked about before.
Yeah. I wish they were $2.99. I think $2.99 is the perfect price point for a book. And I would actually be okay with a little lower quality, if it was $2.99. But I think that gets you in the door a little bit faster sometimes, But the thing was, what gets most new people in there are number ones. And for the most part, number ones are always more than the regular cover price anyway. Right. So you're probably going to be paying more money anyway. But it would help to a certain degree. But really, you got to get the person in the comic store to buy them first. That's right. If you don't have that option, the only other option would be have these books at a convenience store or at a Walmart, for someone to buy. And that's really where you need to start. You need to have, availability of these books all over the place, not just at, a handful of shops around the states or whatnot.
Exactly. So. Fully agree. You got the next page.
All right. Yeah, I do. All right. This is from Augustin Antonio, I think. It says, do comic readers have a bad reputation among society as dorks or know-it-all nerds?
I think at one time they did.
Yeah. I don't really think of it now. Yeah. I think at the time we were more self-conscious about it. So now I don't really think so. I can remember this one girl telling me she was reading some really sexual book or whatnot. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was Faithless or something. And she was on the bus, and the lady sitting next to her was like, whoa.
That's great.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
but I don't think the stigma is really there. I mean, there's a lot more stigma about other things that people focus on now.
This is true.
And comics are the least of the worries. So, okay, this next one is from Hulk War Machine. He said, favorite comic in your collection or on a personal level, meaningful comic to you. So we changed this a little bit because we've answered that question before, and so I edited it. I said, this favorite comic you have added to your collection in 2020. Mm-hmm. Do you have something special you've added?
Yeah, actually, really good friend of the show, That Old Comic Smell. He had Daredevil #2 in a slab available, and I made a deal with him, and that got me closer to fulfilling my Daredevil run. And nice. So it's the oldest Daredevil book I have now. Nice. And so that really excited me, and it means a lot to me. And thanks a lot, Jeff.
Very cool.
And so yeah, for 2020, that was the best book I picked up.
Nice. I actually have a couple of examples for mine.
Sure.
And this one right here, it's the black and white Batman number 1. This is the one I had signed by all the people I met in Florida.
Yeah.
I have it, when my books are I didn't spend a lot of money on books this year again, so I didn't really add any money books to my collection, hardly at all. But something like this means a lot to add to my collection. But really, adding this, let's just be honest, something I never thought I would add to my collection is my own book or my own exclusive cover. So so cool. When you think about it, those are two really cool things to add to your collection, and they're for different reasons, than people might think. But to have my very first exclusive, that's pretty awesome.
It's amazing.
All right, so I got the next one as well. This is from Jeff Durham. It says, hi, guys. How about your favorite up-and-coming writer or artist? You have a favorite?
Yeah, I don't know if he's up-and-coming or not, but I've really enjoyed the direction that Tom Taylor took this last year.
Okay.
And everything he did with Deceased was pretty amazing. They gave him some pretty crap books, which he basically made amazing.
Yeah.
And so I've really enjoyed what he's been doing. And I'd have to say Tom Taylor. I'm really excited that they're going to put him on Nightwing coming up. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
I went with Clara Meath. She's the one that did my cover for me. You know, I really liked her art. That's why I kind of had her do the cover and whatnot. Justin Richards. Finger Guns friend, local Pacific Northwest. I really enjoyed his book, and he shared with me other ideas that he has that were really interesting. I'm hoping that they'll see the light of day sometime. And I just read that W. Maxwell Prince. I don't know if he's newer, but his Ice Cream Man is just top notch. And then he's got that new book, Ha Ha, coming out. So pretty cool. So there you go. So those are some of my favorite up and comers. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from Justin. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because Finger Guns was awesome. So next one is from Roger. Roger said, "What is Bob's and your favorite moment in comic history? Do you or Bob think that moment will ever be stopped or ever be topped by anything that's being produced currently?" Do you have a favorite moment?
Yeah, I think my all-time favorite moment in comics is the comic that really made me love Daredevil the most, and that was in the Born Again storyline. Okay. And there's a scene that doesn't even have any words on the page that basically after Karen Page, sells out Daredevil, there's a point where he basically, she, confesses, and then he goes up and hugs her, and basically in that moment forgives her. Yeah. And the look of elation on her face really hit me hard, and it was one of the greatest moments I'd ever read in a comic book. Yeah. And there's been different instances of forgiveness that I've seen, but nothing that ever hit me that way. So I don't know if it can be tapped into the same way because I was at a young age.
Very cool. Mine's a little bit different. It's not really based on any stories or anything, but it's basically when Image was launched.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. I remember the buzz around it and stuff like that. I don't think that can ever be duplicated because, you would have to think, it would be like having Donnie Cates and James Tinian and Zach Kaplan or just a bunch of the head people just quitting right now and forming their own company and stuff. Right. I don't think that's going to happen ever again, and but that moment, the build up for that was just awesome. And then when those books finally started coming out and just the hype, I don't think that will ever be duplicated.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But it was a fun time.
It didn't end up very well, no. But it was sure fun. The next one is from Big Al. He said, "If you could choose one comic series, mini or not, to still be ongoing or had more issues, which series would it be?"
Right now?
Yeah.
I think Red Mother.
Red Mother?
Yeah, I'd like to see that go on.
Comes to an end. There's 12. No,
yep.
That's it?
I haven't had... never mind.
You give me a good answer, you might get a prize.
Huh? Deceased. How about that?
Oh, that's great. You get
Look at that. Wow.
That's the Origins.
Is this Orange?
Origin,
nice.
Origin, I think.
Nice. Beautiful cover.
There you go.
Thank you.
Your prize.
If I can think about it, there's probably more, but there's a few different series out there that I think they should definitely go on.
There you go. So my picks was Join the Future. Love that series. It was only a 5 or 6 issue series run from Aftershock. I loved it. It was actually my favorite book last year. And one more people will know about, Punisher. Can I please have a Punisher book? Yeah. It would be great. Marvel, please put a Punisher book out. You know, ongoing series, miniseries, whatever you can do. There's no reason why there's literally not a Punisher book out. So there you go. Next one is from Mick A. He's got a couple questions on here down the road. It says, how many people in the United States collect comics from other countries like the UK or Japan or even Australia?
Wow, I do know a few people that collect comics from outside the country.
I don't know anybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our good buddy Jason from Heroes to Icons.
Okay.
He collects Storm Riders.
Oh, nice.
And he actually sent me a few of those. They're beautiful, by the way, from China. And so, yeah, there are a few out there.
Not very many. Next one is from James DeVito. He said, so I want to ask the comic community about Marvel making rock and roll variant covers like they did with the hip-hop variants. Will that be something that would want to buy?
I guess so. I mean, that's not something that grabs me. Yeah. I think it's a fun thing.
I never bought any of those hip-hop ones.
I got a few of them.
You did? Yeah. I don't know if I'd buy any rock and roll ones. Yeah. Now, if they made country ones. I don't listen to country.
That'd be so funny.
If they made gospel music covers,
right?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm sure they would find an audience or something, and it just depends on what they look like, to be honest. So, next one is from Anton Masupist. He says, "Is there any way I could get you guys interested in Doctor Who?"
I'm a Whovian.
I don't even know what that is.
I love Doctor Who. I just don't like the Doctor Who comic books. I think they're crap.
The Doctor Who, didn't the girl just quit?
She quit.
Yeah, that's probably a good choice.
Yeah, for sure. Bring back David Tennant.
I don't know. Sorry. Okay, the last one on this page, Two Brothers Comics says, with movie spec on hiatus at the moment, what do you think is the main drive behind the latest pops and books and series lately?
Channels just like yours, guys.
I think a lot of it is we're kind of filling the gap.
Yeah.
Right now, I think Key Collector fills the gap at the moment, you know, for stuff, and I think other channels kind of fill the gap as well for the information that they provide, and whether that's a good thing or bad thing, I don't really know, to be honest. But there definitely is, like you said, there's we've talked about before, the movie speculation or TV stuff, there's really nothing going on. Hasn't been going on all year.
Pretty much.
Wonder Woman came out. No big deal, to be totally honest. I'm pretty sure that first appearance Cheetah's gone probably way down, since the movie came out or something. I don't know. I think it's just people talking.
Absolutely.
Whatever people are talking about that's getting attention.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's been a lot of newcomers into collecting that that have stepped into the game, and I think it's easier right now than it's ever been in history for somebody to jump in and learn about how to collect comics with the type of content that's being put out there.
Yeah.
And with that, I think a lot of people are, again, you're getting bubbles that are happening because of that.
Exactly. All right, Bob, you're up on the next one there.
All right, the next one comes from Planet Arizona Comics. Hi, Bueller and Bob. I was wondering if you could talk about your early memories of collecting. Did you have any friends who collected? Do you have a favorite comic book? Was it an ex-kid growing up? I remember when Wolverine was cool. It was a cool thing before the whole world knew. So we've talked about this before.
Yeah. So one of the things I put on there, let's say a new story.
Sure.
And one of my early stories, I remember I saw something advertisement in a comic shop saying, "Oh, there's going to be a comic convention." So this is my first one, and I wanted to sell some books. And I was like 14 at the time, and I grabbed the form and I filled it out, and I just mailed it in with like money, $20 for a table. I didn't tell my mom or nothing like that. And then I made up a name for my company at the time. It was called like Fourth Dimension Comics. I just made it up because they asked company name, so I put that on there. And mailed it off my $20. They sent me back. Oh, here's your table. And it's all cool. So my mom's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "I guess I'm doing a thing." She's like, "Well, how are you getting there?" I go, "What do you mean? You're gonna take me?" So it came up finally, and the night before, I was so excited to do my first Comic-Con, and really it's my first one going to just go there. I literally packed up the car with all my books. I was taking all the long boxes, okay? So there's like a layer. It was like a station wagon, so it was just a layer of books. And I was nervous somebody was going to break in. So I slept out in the car on top of the long boxes. And my mom didn't let me forget that. I literally slept on all these long boxes. On the cover, I made a little bed. I was, at the time, I was only like 125 pounds or whatnot.
Right.
So it was no big deal. And I just slept out there that night, on top of my comic books in the car. And there's like this much space between the roof and myself.
That's great.
Woke up next morning, they took me down there, I unloaded, and there you go. So that's one of my earlier memories of comic goodness. My first con, so. Nice.
For me, I mean, off the top of my head, I think one of the funnest stories that I can think of is when I first started getting into collecting comics, there was a couple of friends in the neighborhood who also started collecting comics at the same time. And so we'd always have conversations and things like that. But we used to have to get on the bus and go into Santa Monica to Lincoln Pico News because that's the only place where they had like all the comics, you know. And but there was no like store where you get a couple spinner racks here and there. But just up the street from us there was a toy store, and they had all kinds of stuff in there, and we'd go in there every once in a while. And since we're always talking, the owner pulled us aside one day and he said, "You guys are always talking about comic books. I'm thinking about putting comic books in the store.
Oh, nice.
Which comics would you want in the store?" We just looked at each other and went, "Oh yeah, we could tell you that."
Oh, there you go.
We felt like kings because we filled the whole rack with the comics that we wanted to put in there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That was pretty cool for a kid.
Very cool. All right, you got the next one as well.
Yeah. So next one comes from Streetside Anthony Comics. He said, "How did you get into collecting comics?"
The girls wouldn't go out with me. That's it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, next one.
All right, next one is from DC Dude. He says, topic, volatile fans.
Yep.
He says, no matter what interest or hobby I bounce from, fans seem to be the worst fans. Possessive and critical. How do you deal with fans, maybe of your channels, who make the hobby less enjoyable? Maybe it's online, in store, or just in general. Obviously, feel free to go anywhere from this, just giving you some room to work with.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because there's fans of comics that hate comics.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. It's literally, I've got comments from people that they just hate everything that there is. I can't stand this. I can't stand that. Da, da, da. And like you go and I can look and I can see, oh, what was their last comment? And I'll go to the last, and they're not personal against me. They're just like hate comic books.
Yeah.
And they will just like the last 10 comments were literally negative about comic books. It's like, why are you watching comic book stuff?
Right.
If you hate it so much. And this is funny because this reminds me of my father. Loves basketball. Mm-hmm. Okay? I'm a big fan of the Blazers. If I was the Blazers, I would not want him as a fan because he is so critical of them. And I cannot even watch a game with my father. And I'm like, you like the team, right? Because that's not what it feels like when I'm watching it with him. Because, no, he's just freaking out, every little thing. I looked at my dad, I said, you're the worst fan in the world.
Right.
And he's like, he understood exactly what I was talking about. But there is, I think there's people out there that are like, I'm like, you do enjoy this hobby, right? And I'm like, yeah. I go, well, enjoy it.
Right.
Try to enjoy it. Don't be such a dick about it, And, I don't know. I understand exactly what he's talking about.
I do too. And you're going to find that no matter what hobby or place you go into, for some people, that is being a fan. Being able to talk about something critically or point out what it is that they don't like. To them, that's being a fan because they want the best. Yeah. And to me, it's just being negative.
Yeah. Don't forget to point out what you do like. What you do enjoy.
That's great stuff.
I remember going on a date with this girl one time, and literally she just talked about every negative thing in the world. And I'm like, God, this is a drag. Why would anyone want to be with you? Right. You just made me depressed for the last hour and a half.
That's great.
You point out everything that's horrible in your life. It's like, gee, would I want to be a part of that? No. Take a hike. Don't forget to throw in a little positive every now and then.
Maybe she was just trying to throw out everything negative so you would see the one good thing that was supposed to be her.
She called me the next day. She's like, oh, you want to go out here? No, I'm busy.
I'm busy. Yeah. That's great.
Yep.
All right. Next one comes from Nathan Showentube. He says, do you have a favorite comic book movie? That's pretty...
I do. I have my favorite one for DC is The Dark Knight.
Yeah, hands down.
By Christopher Nolan. I think that's probably my favorite overall.
Yeah.
To be honest. If I had to go with the Marvel one, Avengers, Infinity War.
Yeah, I think Infinity War was better for the action, but none of the Marvel movies brought me to tears the way Endgame did. That last battle scene, I can still watch it and it still brings me to tears. Yeah. So those two would be the toss-up for me.
Nice. What my cat's going nuts. She's just jumping on everything. She's jumped on all these books.
That's great.
What are you going to do?
All right, next one comes from Kolocho Eats. He says, how do you upkeep or maintain your comics in good condition? Do you ever consider pressing, and would you recommend it?
Well, mine are just bags and boards. They just really just stay there until they're gone, to be honest. And I don't pretend to replace too many and stuff, but I never really think too much about it. Yeah. He did ask about I've never had a pressing, but our friend, the Rogue Trader, you've used him. You want to talk about that in a minute?
Yeah. I don't think you should do any pressing unless you're going to be, doing any grading. Yeah. It doesn't really make sense, otherwise. And but if you're going to send a book in to be graded and to be slabbed, it's always wise to get a pressing. And I found that when I started using the Rogue Trader, my ratio of 9.8s or near mint books went up exponentially, and so I can't tout him enough. If you want to check him out, he's at theroguetraderutah.com.
Nice. And
it's a great service. But that's the only time that I would get a book pressed is if I was going to have it graded.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
You got the next one as well.
Yep. The next one is from Chad Bucher. He says, if you guys could only read one character or team book for the rest of your day, what would it be? Bonus question, what is the one coffee you could for the rest of your lives as well? Great show. Keep up the good work.
It's easy for me. X-Men, Chris Claremont. I like Chris Claremont to be writing the X-Men. That's one I could read forever. Coffee is Mocha Express.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, man. What else am I going to say? Mocha Express coffee.
There we go. For me, it's Daredevil, and ever since Cold Brew came out, it's my favorite coffee, and that's what I drink mainly.
There you go.
All right, so the next one comes from Mick Mo. Mick Mo says, I know this has no place in the show, but I'm just curious. What's your favorite Beatles album, Bueller?
I got it right here. And it's Let It Be.
There we go.
There you go. I'm a Beatles fan. People know that. I got a few of their albums. I've had this ever since I was a little kid, for the most part. I think it was my brother's.
Yeah.
But there you go. Let It Be. It's actually my favorite Beatles song, Let It Be. So
very cool.
That's the one.
Sweet. My favorite Beatles album is Sgt. Pepper's.
There you go. So. Lots to choose from.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, you get the greatest hits. It's just tremendous.
All there.
Yeah.
Next one comes from Afro Wars. He says, do you think variant speculators will cause another market crash in comics too much too fast?
I don't think we're going to see another crash.
No.
I think that there's too much information out there right now to, if something goes negative, the other stuff will pick it up. And it's not, I don't think you get a lot of what happened in the 90s anymore.
No.
I mean, you get a little bit of it, but not much,
Yeah.
So most people who collect comics right now actually collect comics.
Yeah, for sure.
They buy. I mean, they sell, but they have collections of their own as well. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay.
All right, next one comes from Stephen Mumford. He says, I love to keep up with all the latest issues. I don't want to miss out. But I also like to catch up on all the great classic comics of the past that I've never read. Do you feel a similar tension in deciding what to read? And do you have any advice?
Yeah, your advice is, it is what it is. I'll put it to you this way. We're lucky that there is so much to choose from.
Yeah.
And there's a tremendous amount of comic book content to read. And that's not a bad problem.
No.
Okay? And that's the way you got to look at it. You're going to fall behind really quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is what it is. I fall behind all the time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read these books, and I'm at the holidays. Back me up 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there's another new set of books on Wednesday. And then the next Wednesday and the next Wednesday. The only time we haven't had that was earlier last year when they cut off, and that could have been your time to get caught up.
Yep.
Now, if that only happens once every 50 years, there's a lot of books you're going to miss.
Yep, that's for sure.
So, like I said, don't look at it as though you're missing out. Look at it as just the simple fact that there's so much to choose from, and we're lucky to have that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the only tension that I get nowadays is, having to pick and choose every week what I'm going to read because I got the reviews I do.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff that I want to read because it's been on my list for a while. And then there's, new, old stuff that I want to also bring into the mix. And so, what I choose on a weekly basis becomes a thing of tension, always.
Yep. All right, I'm up now. This is from Two Gun Pedro. He says, not sure if you discussed this before. We did, Two Gun Pedro. Come on, give me a break. He says, do you have any idea of how to get more people to read comics, not necessarily as collectors? My idea is I've kind of switched a little bit on this. I think you have to accept every avenue of comics right now to get new readers, whether it's digital, whether it's subscription, whatever it is, to get new readers, you have to accept everything and put it all out there and give it as much attention as you give physical copies.
Right.
To be totally honest, because that's how you get new readers, by putting as much out there as you can put out there in any form you can. And then eventually hopefully they turn to a physical copy or something like that. So
right.
The more you can do, just get it out there, the better. Obviously, I've always said, advertising goes a long way. And if these companies would advertise, on more than just, inside the book, I think they'd sell some more books,
For sure. I think there's things we can do on our part as well. I mean, I passionately talk about comic books all the time. And, I listen to people and they know I'm into comics. And so when I hear them talk about a particular subject, if I see a comic that, can, maybe affect that person, I'll throw it into their hands and say, hey, check this out. I think you really like it. Yeah. And I've gotten a few people that have been like, wow, man, I never knew comics was this cool. And so we all have a part in it.
There you go. I got the next one. This is from Lenovations. They got a bunch of questions here. I would love to hear you talk about your bargain bin search techniques. Most of us have been in a huge comic shows with hundreds of bins. We can't possibly search much as we'd want to. How do you do it? What makes a comic good enough for you to open your wallet for, besides obviously key value or good to be in the bin? What is it about the comic that grabs you enough to want to buy it? The first thing is price. The cheaper the better. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just, if it's cheap, I'll buy it. For the most part. As far as what I'm hunting for, it's random. I don't really go in hunting like looking for anything specific. I'm just looking for something that catches my eye.
Right.
And if it catches my eye, I buy it. And if it's cheap, I buy it. If it's $3, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not lying. I'm sorry. If it's $1 or 50 cents, I'll probably buy it. But if it's like $2 or $3 or above, I just flip right by it.
Yeah.
Unless it's something like, man, that shouldn't be $3. Unless it's something like, there's $3 for Wolverine #2 from the limited series. That's more than a $3 book. I wouldn't mind having that, But if I see something like that, sure, I'll probably buy it. But for the most part, if it's not $1 or less, I pass.
Yeah.
That's just the way I am.
Yeah, I mean, the other piece of it is you got to know your comics,
Yeah.
I mean, over time, you start to find out what are keys, what are not, what's valuable, what's, important. As you're going through stuff, you'll see it.
Yeah.
And then, but in the beginning, just collect what you like, and then it'll all grow from there.
And if I can find a run of something, I like that too. If I can find like a run of like a number 1 through number 5, 1 through 5, I'll buy it, for 50 cents or $1 because it's a brand new. I could just jump on it, read it, type thing.
Absolutely.
So, or if I see something that's like story arc, it says something story part 1, and I see part 2, 3, and 4, I'll buy that as well. So, next one is from Hassan McMillan. He says, "I have a question. Are you tired of all the big events, one after another, like that DC just did, dark metal or death metal and endless winter at the same time?" Yeah, I think there's a lot of events. But really, just make a good event.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can have good event after good event, you can do as many as you want. It's just the quality of events.
Absolutely.
If you want to do 10 events a year and they're good, then do 10 events a year. But right now, it's like they do a bunch of events and maybe one of them is good. So it's quality based.
Quality.
Not quantity.
I'd agree.
The next one is from Big Al. He says, "What comic story outline or story arc styles is overused?"
All of them.
I have a couple examples.
Yeah, go for it.
The dead parents.
Yeah, dead parents.
The dead family or whatever you want to call it, and the reset timeline.
Reset timeline.
Reset.
Post-apocalyptic's another.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some are better than others, but really, that's a kind of a go to the well. Make a superhero, or just give them a dead family.
Yeah.
Or something like that. We need to reset the timeline. X-Men is totally guilty of that, and I've liked it for the most part, but sometimes it gets a little. Here we go again.
Right. And everything has to be a crisis.
Yeah, exactly. This one is from Pretty Fly, from a Filipino guy.
I know that guy.
I know you do. What's the tipping point for dropping the hobby, other than the inevitable inflation in price? I'm trying to make the question a little challenging for Bueller. Okay. The tipping point for dropping the hobby, I don't think there is, to be honest. What else am I going to do? That's it. Unless I find something better, which I haven't, and I don't think I will. If I find something better, and really as far as it goes in my life, maybe it's a lovely woman. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I've been down that road before. It screwed me up.
That's great.
Always come back to comics.
There we go. Always sitting there waiting for you, time after time.
There you go. So, is there a tipping point for you?
No, there's not, because there's so many different aspects to the hobby, whether it be collecting or reading. And I've said it before, if everything went away and the only option for me was digital, which I would hate, I'd still read comics because I love the stories and I love the medium. So.
Next one is from Brandon Allard. He said, "When an event comes up and it seems there are more frequently, do you feel obligated to buy other titles that connect to it?" And I put an example down here. So the tie-ins is what he's referring to. I don't feel obligated anymore because I know what they are now. They're just there to be there. They don't have anything to do with the story. Everything so far with the Null one that's going on, King in Black, all the tie-ins right now literally have nothing to do, or you don't need them at all. You know, for everyone I've read, you know, you got Iron Man and Doctor Doom battling Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Do I need that for the King in Black? No. You know, but like I put an example like Inferno. Remember that storyline?
Yeah.
They purposely did that over different titles. Okay, like there was the direct ones, which is X-Men, New Mutants, X Factor. You had to have those; those were all part of the things. And then they had other tie-ins as well. There was an Inferno tie-in, very loose based. But when it's a direct tie-in, like Part 1 is here, Part 2 is over here, Part 3 is over here. Same thing with Kraven's Last Hunt. Part 1 and 2 are in Web of Spider-Man.
Yep.
Part 3 and 4 are in another one. If it's like that, yeah, I'll buy them. But you don't have to buy everything.
No, you don't. I think the last one that I pretty much got every tie-in was the Dark Knight's Death Metal, which is just wrapping up.
Yeah.
And you don't have to read every tie-in, but every tie-in that you read made the main story that much better, and it was all relevant. I think they did it completely right for the whole event, and I loved it.
Yeah. Next one is from Modius. Says, are you familiar with the Previews World? If so, do you like it? What does your local LCS use for a monthly pull list? Well, Previews World is Diamond. It's Diamond set up Previews World for the whole distribution ordering comics. So just in case you're not aware of that, that's what it is. Yeah, I know what Previews World is, you know, because like I said, it's affiliated with them. I'm pretty sure it's what my comic shop uses, you know, because they go through Diamond and stuff and everything. I think it's fine for what it is. I don't know. I mean, I don't order anything off it personally. I don't place my orders through it. But it's a resource, so
yeah, I get it every month. They put it in my pull box, and I'll go through it and I'll earmark stuff. But I mean, I pretty much use online now to pick and choose my pull list.
Nobody watches their YouTube channel, I can tell you that.
That's true. I don't.
Not even close. All right, Bob, you got the next ones here.
All right, this one comes from Kevin Lockhart. He says, 3 questions, please. How many comic books does the average collector own? How much money does the average Joe spend on comics each month? And where do people store their comic book collection? Bonus question, how many chalupas can Bueller eat in one sitting?
Okay, so I can really only answer one of those.
I know, huh?
I could probably eat about 6 to 7 chalupas if I had to.
Yeah.
On a regular one, I eat 2 or 3 chalupas. And I like just the regular beef chalupas, to be totally honest.
The Supremes?
Yeah, there you go. As far as the other stuff goes, I don't know how many people average own, to be honest, what they spend. I can tell you what I spend. I spend maybe $30-$40 a week on comics.
Yeah.
Where do people store their comic books, in boxes and bags and boards?
In their closet.
Hidden away from the wife.
Yeah.
There you go. How about you? How many chalupas can you eat, Bob?
I've never tried.
Damn.
But I do love chalupas.
How many people want to watch us eat a chalupa or watch Bob eat a chalupa?
I could probably eat quite a few.
They're wonderful.
They are. They're good.
They're so wonderful. All right, you got the next one. Man.
All right, this one comes from Kevin O'Shea. He says, why does Diamond consistently have shipping problems? Seems like every week my LCS gets their DC books, but Diamond is either delayed or they short them on their orders. It's very annoying.
Kevin, you're not alone. It's been going on forever. I don't know what the hell's going on, man.
Yeah.
It seems like it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons DC left Diamond, because they told them to say, hey, you guys aren't not up to par with what our expectations are for shipping books.
Yeah.
And that's just them, and that's not including all the other publishers that ship through Diamond. It's we did a whole video about it, and we found out that this happens all over the world.
All over the world.
So Kevin, you're not alone. We suffer through the same thing.
Yeah. I think the only thing that we've seen locally is that depending on what a delivery company is used, can make a difference as well.
Yeah, but our LCS just recently changed deliveries, and I told them to.
Yeah,
and they've been late like the last 3 weeks.
Isn't that the way it goes?
Yeah, but it hasn't really been. It's been Diamond, because all the other shops in the area, same thing.
Yeah.
Excalibur, Comic Adventure. I mean, they've been late as well. You know, and they're pretty stable, and it's annoying. I don't know. Diamond just needs to get better, do a better job
for sure,
and that would help. Believe it or not, that would help. Anyway.
All right. Next one comes from Jesus H. Christ.
I'm so glad you had to read that one.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my friend. All right. He says, in your opinion, why are Western comics failing to appeal to a younger audience while manga is?
Want me to go?
Go for it.
I have no idea. I've looked at the manga stuff. I've never found anything appealing about it whatsoever. I used to get the tapes, at the place I used to work at. We were like a demo store for the anime or something like that. I used to watch it. I was like, man, these are horrible. I didn't understand.
You like them?
I've never liked. I don't know what it is. I've tried. That's the thing. I've tried to like them. Never have. And but they appeal to a lot of people. Like my son loves the manga stuff. He's into it, and I mean, he could care less about comic books.
Yeah.
I think it's a generational thing. For the most part, I think they do appeal to a lot of people. But for some reason, this manga thing appeals to this generation a lot more so than years past. So.
Yeah. There's a couple of reasons I think for that. Number one, I think your peers kind of dictate what you're collecting.
Yeah.
And when you see your peers all around you reading manga, and you see it's all the older people reading regular comic books, then you tend to go with what your peer group does. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I think for younger readers, manga is more accessible. It's less wordy.
Sure.
It's more about the action on the page. And then, I think it's for you. I'm just wondering if it's maybe you just never got the right book,
I tried. I mean, I've tried a bunch of other stuff, and I tried the movies as well. Like I said, some of the big ones that were like classics. I watched them, and I was like, I care less.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been watching anime since I was a kid. I mean, Speed Racer and Kimba and all that. I mean, that was anime.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was it called? Gigantor, right? You didn't like any of that stuff? Really?
No. Yeah,
Interesting.
That was G.I. Joe, man.
I wonder if you were to get like something like Alita Battle Angel, if that would be something that would grab you.
I can already tell you no.
There we go. But my granddaughter, I've been trying to get her into comic books, and she's read a few and she's liked them. But the other day, somebody put Naruto in her hands and she flipped out.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think honestly, to me, it has a lot to do with the art style. I don't like it.
Okay.
That's one thing that's never appealed to me. And just the motion, the art style in the books, and then the motion that they use as far as the filming aspect of it, as far as anime, I don't like it.
So let me ask you,
because it has a different style to it.
So did you like all the original Jim Lee X-Men stuff?
What do you mean, the X-Men, like, was the Claremont one that he did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, I mean the style of artwork that he was bringing to that was manga based.
No.
Next question. He says no.
I take one of those books back.
All right. So let's see. You got this. The next two go together. Okay. So for the first one is from Leo Mendez. He said, "Why is it that comics, aside from the big two, are made with so much more quality?" And the other question comes from Oliver Ortiz. He says, "Why do some publishers print their books with flimsy covers? Marvel Comics covers are so substandard that I can barely hold them in my hands without the fear of damaging them. DC's a little bit better with their A version cover. Their cardstock cover B versions are great, but they charge $1 more for the better paper. Independents like Image, Vault, AWA, etc. use cardstock covers, and they don't charge extra for it."
The reason why they're poor quality is because they can get away with it. People will still buy it. That's a simple fact. They can just do it. People will still buy it. People will still buy Spider-Man if the cover is a crappy cover or whatnot. If the paper quality is crap, they still do it. It's still on their pull list, and they know it. The other companies, like the Image or Vault, that's one area they they can be better in. And they're like, hey, I can make a little better quality book, and people recognize that, and they might be more. That might appeal to them more to buy our book because they know it's a better quality book. So that's one area that they can grow in and put their mark. And that's pretty much what it is. DC and Marvel know for a simple fact, people are going to buy Batman. People are going to buy Avengers. Doesn't matter what the cover cardstock is. They can get away with whatever they want to. But for the other publishers, they know how to stand out. They make a better quality book.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they do. He listed it right there. Image, Vault, AWA. They pretty much all do. I don't know of any third-party publisher that uses the same quality paper as Marvel, or let's just say Marvel. Because
right.
the Marvel the Marvel covers, and you said this, it's the same paper as the inside the book. It's not. There's no difference from the cover and the third page. It's the same paper. So
right, exactly.
Dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb. And I agree with everything you're saying. I think the other part of quality has to do with the work that's going into the books.
Yeah.
And you're going to see more quality stuff come from independents because a lot of them are creator owned.
Yeah.
And when you have to basically write a story about a character that is not yours, that you didn't create. For some people, they're going to put passion inside of it because it was their favorite character of all time. But let's face it, somebody who's doing their own work, they have a lot more passion about it. So
Sure.
a lot more quality books are coming out of there. So, all right, next one comes from Jason Jones. He says, weird question. Would an alien from The Thing be able to replicate a xenomorph from the Alien franchise? I'd be interested in an Aliens versus Thing crossover. Sure.
You know what? You get a book. You get a book for that one. Sure,
right.
That's the answer I was looking for.
Oh, right. I don't know. Which one is this one?
Deadly Hands or something like that?
Sweet. This is another one from Hive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great stuff.
You gonna
That's
show
great
it?
covers over there. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Show it. There you go.
That's awesome stuff.
That's a good answer. I don't even know the answer to that one. So. Okay. Sure. That's our answer.
All right. Next one comes from the Williams Ricky 50. All right. He said, should creators be obligated from the beginning to finish the books that they start? There's nothing more frustrating than getting a few trades deep into a series and it just drops off. It's unfair to the readers.
I think that, for the most part, I think the writers, they want to. I think if they're not on the book anymore, it's because someone above them said, hey, we're putting you somewhere else.
Right.
I can't think of any writer who doesn't want to complete their story arc.
Right.
It's like, oh, you're halfway through the story arc. Oh, we're going to bring someone else in. Like, what the hell, man? Let me finish what I started. Story arcs, like I said, they want to finish those, and then maybe a new writer comes in.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's mainly the art or the writer. I think it's the people above them making that decision.
It is, and then another thing too is that what we don't see very much is how much a book is being collaborated on. Behind the scenes, you may have multiple people on a book, and that writer is just writing.
Yeah.
When there are other people who are inputting on the story, it's very easy for another one to be picked up while they move somebody around.
Yeah.
And so that happens a lot at Marvel and DC. Not so much at the independents, but I mean it's prevalent throughout those companies.
Yeah, for the most part, independent titles, they're pretty much always written by the person who starts it. You know, if they go through. I mean, very, very few does it get turned over to someone else without just doing a different book.
Yeah.
So, okay, I got the next one. This is from Leo Peralta. He says, so where do you both see the comic book industry and yourselves in a year and in 3 years? Do you see yourselves still being social media influencers? Give me a break. YouTube, do you see the comics crashing again like in the 90s? So first off, do I see it crashing in the 90s? No. We kind of hit on that a little bit ago. Where do I see the comic book industry in a year or 3 years? I think pretty similar to what we are now. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be without one of the big two.
Probably.
I think that more than likely that it'll be DC. There'll be a different form of DC. I don't want to say they're gone. I just want to say there's a different form in the works for DC. Maybe, I think that makes more sense.
Sure.
And maybe the rise of some other publishers. Some other. Maybe Boom gets even bigger, or AWA or something like that. So, but I think as far as Marvel, they just kind of stay what they're doing for the most part. As far as where do we see ourselves in a year to 3 years?
You have a plan.
Well, I have a plan. Yeah, I'm gonna drive around in my car.
There you go.
I'm gonna drive around my car. I mean, I have a plan. It's something I'm gonna talk about more on our 3-year anniversary show, which is next month. But I have a 1-year plan to get me to a certain point, and then there's going to be a big change in my lifestyle and what I'll be doing. So, but I'll get. Some people already know about, but I'll get to that, next month or whatnot. But I will tell you this: I'm not stepping away from talking comic books on YouTube, just a different form.
Sure.
How about yourself?
Well, I mean, I take this whole thing a day at a time. I mean, it's hard because I'm so busy. to understand where this is going to go. I'll keep talking about comic books for as long as I'm around. That's not going to change, whether it be on YouTube or with my friends. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to be talking comics.
Yeah.
If I can stay on YouTube to a point to where I can, make more of a living off of it later on, and I can let my job go or use it as part of my retirement, I'd love that.
Yeah.
But we'll see what holds.
Yeah. I just want to say something real quick. Eventually, the Coffee and Comic Show will probably come to an end. Mm-hmm. All great things come to an end. But the main goal for the Coffee and Comic Show is to be the best comic show that there is. I'm pretty sure we're already there.
Right on, man.
It's the best 1-2 punch that there is. So there you go.
There
Bob
go.
and Bueller and Bob. Boom. Take that. Okay, the next one is from Mark Milton. He said, okay, I don't think I thought of this question last week. Why do they do reboots for new readers but seems to always add previous history? I think they put the previous history just to satisfy the people who are already on board.
Sure.
Just to bring them along. They do it for new readers, but then they do it for obviously the person who was reading the other issue last month that they're rebooting this month. So that's kind of why they do it. So I just put that in there.
Absolutely.
Next one is from the Rogue Trader. Says, I would be interested in hearing your opinions of multiverses. I personally find them distracting and convoluted. They tend to lose my interest in books that they incorporate. I know that Crisis was huge, but wasn't the point of that doing away with the multiverse concept and not create more?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, but how do you bring in new concepts on books that have been around for a long time? And that's kind of how people have done it, traditionally in the past. You create an Elseworld so you can tell a different type of story with that particular character. It's just, sometimes it just gets out of control, and that's what's happened at DC.
Yeah.
At one point they did away with all the multiverse because there was too many of them, and only to bring them down to one, and then expand it to 52, and then back out to having all these other crisis events. And now Dark Knight's Death Metal brings it into one distinct story, so you have one story again. It's confusing as all get out. I think I talked about that before.
Yep.
But I think that there's a part of it that I like.
Yeah.
And there's a part of it that just pisses me off.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You get a book.
Thank you. All right. It's got a Momoko, naked girl on the cover.
Yeah. Well, I wrote on the back what it is.
It is Sleeping Beauties, #1.
There you go.
Momoko cover. Thank you very much, Eric.
And it's from the Rogue Trader, so I figured there you go. Like I said, you're going to get them anyway.
There we go.
As far as the multiverse, I don't even know what they are.
No.
I mean, they're confusing to me, because I wasn't a big DC guy, and then I heard all the stuff about DC. I was like, what are you talking about and stuff, I do like the alternative what if type storylines.
Exactly.
Those are things I enjoy.
Yeah.
But to make a whole another series about it, and just to go and like, oh, there's 2 Superman, there's 2 this, there's 2 that, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And they don't, I don't know. I get confused, to be totally honest.
Yeah. It's the one thing about the Flash that usually makes me very confused and pissed off because I just want my Flash story.
There you go. This last one is from Mickmo.
Mm-hmm.
It says,
Mickmo.
Hi, fellas. I know we are living in the digital age and fans of print media have to pay a premium for physical copies, from newspapers and magazines to comics, but how much is too much for a comic book? If the big 2 push to $4.99, then I'll only pick up indies. If $4.99 is new industry standard, then it's time to cut back. How much is too much? Is $4.99 too much?
I mean, I thought, I thought $4.99 was too much for a long time. I mean, there's still books that I've paid for, but I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
At what point do I stop paying because it's way too much? I think we're just about there. I think that $8.99. I mean, for Future State, I'm getting them because I'm reviewing them, and there's some spec value in there. But for the most part, if they keep going that way, I'm not buying those books.
Yeah, it's. I think an earlier question is, what's the tipping point when you would bow out? And they literally specifically said besides the price. That's why we didn't discuss the price. The price would be something that where eventually I would cut way back.
Yeah.
It's like if they were $4.99 all across the board, I would really think twice about what I'm spending my money on. every week, a little more so than I do now. You know, I would definitely say, "Well, I don't need that. I don't need that. I'm good. I'll wait," and I would wait it out. And when I would wait on books I know that are going to be cheaper a couple months later, because they're always cheaper a few months later, or
for the most part.
The vast majority of books do not hold their value. Okay, 90% of the books, once you take them out of the shop, they're like used cars. It's like a car. They go down in price, just like that. You know, and you'll never get the face value, what you just paid for them, you know, for the most part.
Right.
We all know this. This isn't a secret. The very small percentage go up in price or keep their value. Very seldom do books keep their value. Like, if you paid $3.99 for a book, it doesn't stay $3.99.
No.
Like 2 years later, you know, it's either gone up, you know, in price to like $10 or $15, or it's in the dollar bin.
Yeah.
Very few keep that price, you know. So you just lose out. So I mean, I don't mind just waiting, and if I have to wait to get books for cheaper, sign me up. I'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you go. That's our Q&A / whatever it was, and viewer thing. I don't know.
Question grab bag.
Yeah.
Viewer's choice.
Yeah. At least he came up with something like. So not bad, right?
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Let's go ahead and get to our final 5. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, you want to go?
Sure. So as you know, I really love the What If series, and I've started collecting Volume 1, the whole run.
Okay.
And so I've got some that I just got in the last couple of weeks.
There's some nice boards.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
from our friends, the
58-point boards or 56?
58-point boards, man.
Yeah, very cool.
So this
Pro line.
So this first one is, yeah, that's exactly right. So this first one is issue number 19. It's What If Spider-Man Had Never Become a Crime Fighter. And then we got issue 16, which What If Doctor Strange Were a Disciple of Dormammu. Great stuff. Love the cover on this one. Number 41, What If the Submariner Had Saved Atlantis from Its Destiny. And number 35, I got a special interest in this one, is What If Elektra Had Lived.
Didn't she live?
Nope.
She's not alive right now? I'm pretty sure she's Daredevil.
Yeah, she is, but you know, but she
right.
died at one point.
They all do.
And the last one, number 22, What If Doctor Doom had become a hero? When was he not a hero? That's my question.
Whatever. All right, I'm up next. Marvel Tales Black Panther number 1.
Nice.
I just like the cover, and it was in the grab bag, so I bought it. Wolverine Battles the Incredible Hulk. This is a reprint of the first appearance of Wolverine.
Nice.
Wolverine versus Spider-Man.
Gotta love that one.
Spider-Man versus Wolverine.
I love
It's
that
reverse.
comic.
Yeah, there you go. And Teen Titans number 4.
Sweet.
There's no rhyme or reason. Just there you go.
It's a great final 5.
Some books to show. I just grabbed them or whatnot. So.
For sure.
That's it. That's final 5. Okay, let's go to something else. Let's do Robbie's Pick of the Week. You ready for this one?
For sure.
All right. Let's go ahead and go to Robbie's Pick of the Week.
And what was it?
Hey everybody, I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups from Pop Culture Philosophers. You're checking out the Coffee and Comics Show on Comics with Bueller, and my pick of the week is...
The Dreaming Waking Hours, issue number 6. And I myself did not get to read this one. Did you read it?
Nope.
Yeah, I know. But
It's Robbie's Pick of the Week.
It's Robbie's Pick of the Week, though.
He said it was great. It's got to be good because there was a lot of books that came out that week. And for him to pick that book as the Pick of the Week...
Mm-hmm. For sure. There was a lot of good books, too.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. There you go. We don't have much to say. I've never read any of them. I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Right.
So there you go. Robbie's picked that. Go check out Robbie's channel.
For sure.
It pops up all the time. So there you go.
It pops up all the time.
Congratulations on winning the Thunderdome, Robbie. Your gift's in the mail. Get out of here.
I love it.
All right, let's go to our returning segment that everyone really enjoys. This is Was It Good?
Was it good?
And Was It Good is where we review like 3 books that we read last week. We tell you if it was any good, if it wasn't very good. And you know what, Bob, you're going to go up first. So, Bob, you went with Venom 32, and we'll put that up there. And, Bob, was it good?
It was good. I really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying the whole King in Black. Huge event. The Venom book is probably the only actual tie-in that means anything to it, and I like where they took Eddie Brock inside of this one. And the last page of the story, I geeked out. It was cool.
There you go. So it was good.
It was good.
Awesome. Next one up is The Next Batman, and Bob, was it good?
It was good. I mean, it wasn't anything to write home about. I mean, the first Batman story is kind of, it's good, but it's nothing to write home about. I actually enjoyed the Outsiders story inside of there much more. There's a story with Katana in it, and I actually enjoyed that one more than the actual Batman story. But it was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got one last one from Was It Good? This is The Last Witch from Boom Studios. Mm-hmm. Hey, Bob, was it good?
It was good. I think the story's been done before.
Sure.
And so I'm not catching anything new out of it, but I mean, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
I like some of the characterization that they do inside of the book with the main character and her brother. But beyond that, I don't know if I'll get it going forward because I've seen it before.
Sure.
So
it was kind of good.
It was kind of good,
but not worth buying number 2.
Not worth buying number 2.
All right.
Or maybe in a trade.
There you go.
Wait for the trade to come out.
There you go. Okay.
All right. So Bueller, you had some books that you had to review this week, and the first one on the list was Thor 11. And so, Bueller, was it good?
Well, let me put it up there since you didn't.
Oh.
That's why they're sitting there.
You
know what? It was pretty good.
Yeah?
It was just that dude having dinner with the Jane Foster the whole time. They're just sitting there, and he's like, asking her questions, and Jane's like, oh, it's nice seeing you, and stuff like that. And Thor's barely in it.
Right.
He's in it like 3 panels, and that's about it. Yep. And then I'm pretty sure that's Beta Ray Bill that's in bed, and he doesn't looking very good.
No.
Yeah, but not really much happened in this, to be honest. But it's, it is what it is. I don't know if I've enjoyed this story arc, the Prey story arc, that much in comparison to the winter one that was last. So, I don't know. I mean, it was good, but it's nothing to write home. Isn't that what you said?
Exactly. Nothing to write home about.
Okay, there you go. So.
All right, next one up you had is the Future State Swamp Thing story. And so, Bueller, was it good?
Yeah, I liked it. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's only a 2-issue arc. The artwork in it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. So apparently, there's just a bunch of swamp people now. All the regular people are pretty much gone. They're all, not everyone, but they're like looking for humans. They can't find them. They're that rare now. And it's just a bunch of swamp people like hanging out, just doing their thing and swamping around and stuff,
Swamping around.
Is that a thing? They're like asking like deep questions and they're giving deep answers and stuff like that, and
swamping.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. There's only one more issue, so it'll be over and done with. So it was pretty cool. It's only $3.99 too. So there you go.
There you go. All right, very cool. All right, so the last one is Scout's Honor from Aftershock Comics. That's issue number 1. And so Bueller, was it good?
Yes, it was. This is kind of like the Last Witch one for you.
Yeah.
To where it's a story. It's all about a apocalypse, nuclear holocaust and everything. And the new society is based on like the Scout book and stuff like that. So it's got a little bit of a twist in it about the main character turns out to be someone different than what they thought they were. And but it is one of those stories that it's been done a lot.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the first one, but I don't think I would go past it, to get number 2. But if you're on the fence, it's worth a read, because I think you can go either way. And it's a funny thing, I mentioned the Bob like in my top 10 video because I had it on there, and I just randomly made a joke, and I was like, oh, I guess you get badges now for the stuff. It's actually real. It's actually
right.
Part of the plot line in there is like the people earn badges. It was a total joke. I hadn't read it when I said that. So for me to just make something up and it's actually in the book, I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, it was okay. It was worth a read, but I don't think I'm going to go past the first one.
Understood. All right.
So there you go. That's what we read. Let me tell you what we're going to read next week. Next week on my list, I have let's see, Erratic number 2, Red Mother number 12, and Big Girls number 6. So I'll be reading those. What are you reading?
I'm going to be with Haha number 1. I'm really excited about that one. I'm just getting caught up on Autumnal. I'm going to read issue number 4, see how that is. And then the last one is Immortal Hulk number 42.
There you go. So those are the ones we're going to read. We'll do the reviews on those, on the Was It Good and stuff, and we'll see if they're any good. I'm excited to read or to hear your thoughts on the Haha book.
Yeah, me too.
Which is by W. Maxwell Prince, who is the writer of Ice Cream Man, one of our favorite books right now.
For sure.
And he definitely has a style to him. And like I said, I already read it. I read that book already, so I'm curious to see what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All that good stuff. So anyway, that's about it let's see here. Are we forgetting anything? This is going to be another long video. Remember last week I said it's going to be our longest video?
You did.
Yeah, this one's going to be longer than that one. Screw it, I don't care. It's a new year. We're doing whatever we want.
Absolutely. I may not be able to stay for the whole premiere on Monday because I do got to start work right at 6.
Oh, come on, Bob.
So,
Don't give me that. So, Bob, you made some content this week.
I did.
You put out 3 videos.
I did.
It's almost like you're 20 all over again.
All over again.
3 times in 1 week.
All right, I'm out of here, bro.
But you did put out some videos.
I did. I put out, in my new format, I put out my weekly comic book review, and then I also put out a video that was reviewing the trade paperback from TKO Studios, Lonesome Days and Savage Nights, which was pretty cool. And then I did a CGC unboxing. And
there you go.
And I got a couple of videos I'll be putting out this week as well. I'm going to do a preview of a book from Mad Cave Studios, which I'm looking forward to, and then my weekly reviews, and then I'm also going to do my giveaway. Exactly.
Nice.
So,
Bob, speaking about giveaways, you're doing giveaways on your channel, but last week on our video for the coffee, you decided to do a giveaway for that.
That's right.
And we have some winners, so if you want to tell us who the winners are, go ahead.
All right. So the prizes were the 3 coupons for the Rogue Trader to use their service or their website. You get $15 off whatever you want to buy.
Nice.
And so the first winner is DC Dude.
Nice.
So he wins a coupon. And then the next winner is Miguel H. Pretty cool. And then the other one is Thomas Zerabinski. And so you 3, just go ahead and if you could send me an email at bullseyebobec@outlook.com and let me know your information, and I'll get those right out in the mail to you.
Nice.
And then we have a grand prize winner for the TKO books that I showed. That was the 7 Deadly Sins and the Sarah. Great books, by the way. And that one goes to a Jeff Pixler. And so congratulations, you guys are the winners. Send me your information. I'll get that right out in the mail to you. And got some good stuff.
Awesome. And what was the email again?
bullseyebobec @outlook.com.
And I'll put his email information in the description below so you guys can find it. But those are the winners, man. We almost forgot about it. But you know what? We came through at the end.
Amen. Good stuff.
You guys have no idea.
They only knew. Wait, how much are you saving on footage to come back on later on?
I don't know. I save it all.
I bet you do.
I save it all. So anyway, that's everything we got this week. You know, there's a lot of great questions that were asked, and we hopefully answered some of them and everything. And really, that's about it. So we're going to call it good. Go check out Everything Comics. That's Bob's channel. He's doing some stuff on there now, some content. 3 videos last week. It's pretty awesome. I was like, whoa, this guy's really turned the dial up. That's as many as I did. So,
well, how can I not with you did last week on the hot seat there?
It was all out of love, man. Give me a break. So there you go. All right, everybody, please do me a favor. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to hit that like button, you can do that. And you know what? That's it. You want to take us out? You want to do the outro? Remember what it is?
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, so don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. You know what to do. Bye.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
There we go.
Bye.
Bye.